Now on to the important bit. It's obviously the camera, which is on the back here. I've got a dual LED flash just above the lens, and then this sliding lens cover, which is actually an active lens cover. So if we slide that down, you'll be able to see the mechanical shutter will open. There we go. And the camera is now active. So if we just chuck something out there to take a photo of, then you just push the button slightly to focus, and then all the way to take a photo. And then we've got our photo. Can't very well see it on the camera, but it does actually look okay. From here we can just delete the photo, send it in a message, or upload it to the internet, or just view it in our slideshows. Or we can just go back to the camera here and take another photo if we like. And then we can just close the shutter, and there we go. Locks keypad, and you could just stick the phone back in your pocket. It's quite nice that you can actually use the camera independently of the phone. As I say, you can slide that down, take a photo. Once you're finished, just slide it back up and put the phone in your pocket without ever having to lock or unlock the phone or go into any menus. So that's quite good. I'm also going to show you the keypad quickly. Oh, and quickly also might mention that it's actually a wide-angle lens as well on this camera, so it's pretty good for getting in sort of landscape shots and other things like that. So onto the keypad. Slider, it's very smooth. As you can hear, there's no real grinding or anything. There's a nice spring away when you push the slider slightly upwards. And this is actually a dual slider, a bit like the N95 and N96, is that it slides the opposite way as well for these multimedia keys. On this device though, they've made it a bit more difficult to slide it downwards, because on the old device it was so easy to slide the screen down whilst you're pushing it into your pocket and unlock the keypad. Obviously not very desirable. But on this one they've increased the tension, so it's actually more difficult to push it down now than it is to push it upwards, which is quite good. But the keys are very tactile, nice click to them, well spaced and decent size as well, and they're slightly raised and not completely flat, so you can actually feel your way quite easily around the keypad. And the same goes for these keys at the top here, raised, nice tactile click. Overall very nice to use. Let's move on now to some of the applications and stuff. Just open the phone up there. As you can see, the screen's rotating automatically as I move it around. And that works pretty much throughout the whole UI. In the menus and in all the applications, you can always just tilt the phone to one side and view them in landscape, or tilt it back and view it in portrait mode, which is quite handy. Here you can see the menu. I've just changed the brightness setting a second so you can see it a bit better. Just go straight to display there and change the light. There we go. Should be a bit easier to see. It's an AMOLED display, so the display is very good contrast on it, and also it should use a bit less power when you've got a dark theme like this on it as well. The darker the theme you set, generally less power it uses due to the way the AMOLED screen works. Just quickly open the messaging for you. There's a very good messaging client in this, in that it sets up all the messaging, all the well-known messaging services like Google Mail, Hotmail and things like that. Sets them up automatically just when you put in the details of, say, your password and username. It'll set the whole thing up for you. When it gets to stuff for like Exchange and your own mail services, it can get a bit more confusing. Like, I had a nightmare setting up the Exchange service just because it was the Google Exchange service I was using, so it kept trying to set up a Google Mail account instead, unfortunately. And today, when I've been trying to delete these two accounts and put in the Mobile Burn test account for the video, it actually wouldn't let me delete the accounts or add any other accounts for some reason. The phone just kept freezing up and crashing, so that's not so good. But if you're a light user and just use something like Google or Hotmail, you should have no problem at all just setting up an account very easily with your username and password. The web is the same sort of browser as the previous Nokia web browsers. Just pop in the Mobile Burn address page here. And so here we go, the Mobile Burn page is loading up now. And as you can see, it's a full graphic page, videos and photos and such. We'll just zoom out a bit and you can see a bit more of the page. There you go. It's not the quickest at loading up the pages, although it's got a HSDPA connection and also Wi-Fi if you'd like to use it. It still takes a little while to render the pages because the phone processor isn't that powerful, but here you go, you can see the images starting to load up there. Also, it's not quite as easy to use as perhaps a touchscreen phone might be, where you can just scroll around the screen by using your thumb, or zoom in maybe with a multi-touch pinch gesture or something. On this phone you've got to use the keypad here to zoom in and out with these buttons, and moving around is done with this little cursor, which you probably won't be able to see actually on the screen. Just literally have to hold it down and you get this sort of mini-map view at the side here to show you whereabouts in the page you are. Overall though, it's not too difficult to use, works pretty well. Not really a replacement for your laptop screen perhaps, or your desktop computer, but it'll get you by if you needed something in an emergency. As you can see, as we've also got this nice history view where you can just go straight back through all the pages you've looked at, and just jump back to one by quite simply just clicking on it. It sends you straight back to that page.